Do you know what kind of nut that is?
Oh, no, not a hazelnut.
It's a hazelnut.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
There's a story that goes with it. I worked for Home Depot for 20 years, and every year we have to go and visit the nurseries and make purchases for the following year of roses and such not. And I just happened to walk through this building where they were doing grafting, and I had never seen it done before.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, you want to have us graft some and you can take it with you?" And I said, "Sure." And just messing around, not even being serious, I picked a rubber plant, you know, a house plant, a rubber plant, and I found a hazelnut tree. And they said, "Well, I'm not sure that that'll work together like that, but we'll do it and see what happens." So they took the root of a rubber plant and they grafted this little stem off of this hazelnut tree into it, and they gave it to me. And that was I think it was 96. And I took it home, put it in a pot, and it didn't do well. It just struggled for years. It just struggled, sat on my porch in this pot and hardly did anything, but it stayed alive. And so in 2007, I'd had the tree about 10 years. We moved to Tennessee, and because they had grafted it special for me and it was still alive, it didn't look like much. It was about a foot tall after 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And just a scraggly old tree. But I threw it in the truck and took it to Tennessee. And when we got to Tennessee, it seemed to like the weather better, and it did better. And the tree started growing. So I put it in a bigger pot out on the front porch. And it got up, I was there for 12 years, and it got up to about 4 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
On my porch. Never looked good, never looked healthy, but it was staying alive and it was growing. And they had told me that nuts usually takes 20 to 30 years to produce when you plant a tree.
Word.
So I didn't figure I'd ever see anything if it did make. Anyway, so when we moved back to Florida, I walked by the tree. I was walking around the house just making sure everything was loaded, and I see this plant sitting on the porch, and I'm like, that thing ain't ever going to make anything. But because I had nurtured it along all this time, I brought it back to Florida with me. And that was 5 years ago. And when I got back to Florida, I just took it out of the pot and I planted it out in the yard along the wood line out there. And it stayed healthy and stayed green, but it didn't look great. It was just still appeared to be struggling.
Yeah.
Well, this year in the spring, it had what appeared to be little tiny buds of some type on it. And it ended up making 9 nuts.
What?
First time this year. It's 28 years old.
Oh my gosh,
the tree
so
is.
Cool.
And it made 9 nuts. And so I waited until the first one fell off. And when the first one fell off, I went ahead and picked them all off the tree.
Was the seed rubbery?
And the seed in the thing is rubber.
What?
It is rubber.
No way.
Yes, it is. Take something and smash it and see what it's like.
Oh my gosh! Is that no? That's
it's a rubber nut.
Are you? Yeah, that's a condom. Oh my! I can't believe I fell for that. How in the heck did you do that?
That's the way it grew.
Oh my gosh! Well, I guess we know why this rubber's so small. I can't believe that you did that. That is hilarious. I never fall for this stuff.